and morality.
Praise God. Pastor Jesse here, Living God Service. Listen to this preacher.
And then the third key reality being, despite all of that, secular people are still open to spirituality. And today we're going to be talking about the second topic, which is how to become friends, how to develop authentic friendships with non-religious people. And then the three other sessions are going to be how to start a spiritual conversation, which is distinct from a gospel conversation. We'll talk about that. How to introduce Jesus and the message of the cross and to start a discipleship relationship. And then the last one is navigating politics, social justice, sexuality, and other fun topics, which are challenges that we face in our culture. So today it's all about how to build relationships and friendships with secular, non-religious people. So a Harvard study last year showed that 61% of young adults feel serious loneliness. 61% feel serious loneliness. This was
Nobody
last
in
year.
America
And there's
visits
a bunch
each
of
other
reasons
anymore.
why loneliness has become an epidemic, which is so common. So there's a number of reasons. First is just basically the concept of cheap sex. We have rejected the biblical sexual ethic, right, where sex is supposed to be between a man and woman in the context of marriage. That has been rejected. And basically, sex is nothing more than a physical act that is about personal pleasure. You know, so long as you're not harming others and it's governed by the sense of mutual consent, you can do whatever you want.
In other
right?
words,
so that's
people
the
take
sexual ethic
advantage of
the
each
day.
other and they don't
And
trust
it's also
each other
led to kind of
anymore.
cultural changes, right? Where we're delaying marriage, we're delaying kids, and what's so ironic about that is we actually desire intimacy. We desire connection, but we're pushing away.
But young
the
people don't
design
know how
where
to
we're supposed
connect
find that
because
most,
nobody ever taught
meaningfully
them.
in our human existence is in the context of a family. And so that's being delayed and pushed away. And then, of course, you've got just pornography and hookup culture, which is
So young people don't know how to connect because in our society, like I said, the trust barrier's been torn down. So when you look people in the eyes, they think you're flirting with them. Or if you use facial expressions and you try to be in an intimate conversation, not intimate sexually, but intimate as far as connection, like being able to relate with people, you can't do it because the trust barrier's been torn down. And they automatically assume that you are just trying to have sex with them.
And we're seeing a view of others that is filtered. It's not real. It's projecting a view of ourselves that looks good, but it's not who I am authentically. It's not real. So in that sense, all my connections are superficial and they're not authentic. And so you have a lot of this filtered reality, and then you have a sense of escapism. And the idea here is that rather than face the issues or the dark thoughts that I'm facing, I can escape into the world of video games or metaverse, or I can just keep scrolling. It's like the Finding Nemo movie where it's like just keep swimming. It just keep scrolling.
Which is why families don't visit each other anymore. They don't trust each other. They escape. They don't want to deal with people. They don't want to deal with attitude. They don't want to get into arguments, so that they stay away from everybody except for just their immediate family, maybe even their kids. But then the same cycle is going to be produced and their kids are going to grow up and they won't visit each other.
Big thing that we experience, one of the things that people love to do is follow a particular social media influencer, right? And so it'll be someone on YouTube. There's a kind of the modern day Seinfeld is a girl called Emma Chamberlain, and she basically has a YouTube channel about nothing, but she's this charismatic girl that posts these videos of her just doing daily life.
Yes, but so even the preachers and pastors are narcissists, and they have torn down the trust barrier themselves. So people can't find refuge in family. They can't find refuge in church. And they can't find refuge in society. So now they get a very small group of friends, and they just go with that group of friends, or young people hang out with young people and stay away from elders and the elderly are actually lonely as all get out if you're like 30 and above. All right. And so the groups in 20 and below, they're so-called sowing their wild oats. And since they're so-called sowing their wild oats, they're partying it up and having a good time, but they're destroying their lives. And then by the time they get 30 and 40, now they don't trust anybody. They have no community. They're not visiting each other. They've destroyed their family, their relationship with their moms and dads and their churches, and now they are hopeless. And so how do we fix this? The pastors need to love people. The preachers need to love people. They need to quit playing games, stop making merchandise of the people, accept their own fault in the matter, and stop blaming the people.
Inclusion and acceptance conversation with the parents that the district had mandated. And you can imagine what the topics were about. And it was a very interesting experience. And one of the moms said in that conversation, you know what, I think it's important to understand that tolerance is not enough. We must affirm. And it's so perfectly speak.
Okay, the affirm part. Okay, the affirmation is good, but they're so used to being love bombed by the church that they don't trust affirmation. Okay, and so what is affirmation? It's like, okay, I'm a school bus driver. I build the confidence up of my children by, like, a little girl got on my bus today. Is the first time she ever got new glasses. All right, so every day when my students get on my bus, I usually, good morning. All right, now they think that that's fake because why? It's my job to do it, one, and then two, people don't do that. So they think that it's love bombing. They think that it's a false greeting. No, I'm trying, it's not. It's not a false greeting. It's not love bombing. Yes, I am trying to lift your spirit, and I'm using my spirit to do it. And you could say, well, that's not me. It is me. All right. And so my student gets on my bus with new glasses. I'm like, good morning. Wow, those are nice glasses. And actually, she was bold, and her glasses are pink fronts with black, the things that go alongside your ears to hold it on. And so, it's a bold statement, but I can encourage her. Oh yeah, I love those pink glasses. I myself wore blue glasses for a long time. They're really cool. Okay, and people, that's not you, or you man, you're a pedophile. You're hitting on the child. That's what they do. People think that they'll accuse you, and so this is why people don't trust affirmation anymore. Because affirmation, what do you do whenever you try to manipulate and have sex with a woman? You're really affirmation. You affirm her all the time. You know how, so pastors and preachers know how to manipulate women. All right, they've been taught and trained not to manipulate, but people do manipulate. To really love people, love is more than feeling; it's action. So whenever you want to show someone that you love them, you have to override your own selfishness. And so, since you're overriding your own selfishness, you may not feel loving, but you go buy flowers and you go buy gifts and you leave little post-it notes in a place, and a woman might accuse you of doing that just to have sex with her. Oh, so now they don't trust that anymore. But that's good. Do it anyways.
And he offended him because he spent so much time with sinners. Because that's what happens when you spend time with sinners, you get accused of being one yourself. And so what happens is we were afraid to associate with those people, lest I get, lumped in with them and like I am agreeing with them. And so that is one of the challenges that we have. But again, Jesus did this all the time. Luke 15:1-2 said the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus, but the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." And eating with people in that culture was a very intimate thing to do, And so Jesus was willing to be very intimate with these people, even if it offended the religious establishment. And so that's part of what we have to deal with today. So part of it is understanding the power of friendship with people that are not like us, with people that wouldn't walk into a church. So the first idea is that friendship humanizes
But that doesn't
them,
mean we let
right? It's so
LGBTQIA
easy
take
to
over
talk
the
about
church
those
and get in the pulpit and preach.
And the way,
if you're a preacher,
what they
you need
do,
to be
but when you sit
saved
across from
and
someone,
filled with
it's
the
a lot
Holy
harder
Ghost.
to hate them.
You can have
Right? When you're sitting and having
LGBTQ
coffee
in the
with them, it's a
church,
lot harder
but
to hate them.
they
And then
do not
friendship
preach.
actually allows you to demonstrate the
You
gospel
don't
with your life.
compromise.
So a lot of secular people have a lot of false assumptions about who Jesus is and what Jesus followers are like. And they, like us, they make these kind of misconceptions. And when you get to be with secular people and live a life, you can actually reflect the gospel in a way through your actions that can break down some of those walls. Philippians 2:3-4 is such a powerful verse, because if we can live this verse out in front of secular people, it's the kind of verse that does not make sense to secular culture. It's the idea of do nothing out of self.
Quit being chickens and go eat with Afghans. Quit being chickens and go eat with Muslims. Quit being chickens and go meet a rabbi and talk to Jewish people and ask the rabbi stuff about the Old Testament. Stop being scared because some clown preacher told you that you were going to get a spirit. You're not going to get a spirit.
Humanism, which is the religion of self. Right? And it's all about me and pursuing my happiness. And when you see people lay aside their happiness for the sake of others, it's radical countercultural that really opens up the opportunity to connect with people. The other thing that friendship does, it helps you to understand. So often we don't actually understand.
Another thing about connection is society, Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and this, internet, social media culture has got us to where we can't connect with people because we think everybody is a scammer. We have been taught, you go and you Google, how can I tell someone is a scammer? Oh, they love bomb you, and, they say dear, and they say love, they use terms of endearment, and they use, they try to rush a relationship. If anyone's trying to rush a relationship, 9 times out of 10, they are scammers. And that's what they teach you, right? Well, I've been to Africa. They call everyone dear, and they say nice things, and they greet everybody with what you would call maybe an extravagant greeting. Actually, do you know the hardest thing in Ethiopia was to say goodbye? Saying goodbye will take another hour worth of conversation, all right? So Americans, they want everything quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay, so they've been taught and trained that greetings and goodbyes are fake and phony. Okay, in terms of endearment, are phony unless you're in an intimate relationship. Well, in Africa, they're intimate with everybody, not sexually intimate, but intimate as far as connection. They want a connection. You're a real person. I can make eye contact with you. I could smile at you, and I'm not trying to have sex with you.
Starts with a broken heart. Where we repent and say, God, my heart is cold. It's not right. I'm sorry. Would you give me your broken heart? And when your heart is broken, then you're willing to sacrifice. Then you're willing to say no to whatever thing or things that you're doing in order to create space for you to have relationships with secular people in your life. And to understand that friendships, they take time, and that they're cumulative, and that they're exponential. Like the more you develop a relationship over time, the more it grows, the more you can build that trust, the more you can speak into their life, the more they can see.
In fact, in other countries, men and women are intimate and they're not gay. If you go to Korea, you'll see women holding hands. They're best friends, but they don't sleep. They don't have sex. They're not lesbians. And if you go to I've been to these countries. I've been to Iraq, and in Iraq, I've been to Qatar, and so when you go to these countries, even in Africa, the men will sit on each other's laps, and they're not gay. Men will hold hands, and they're not gay. Okay, only in America is everybody who holds hands gay, and you don't make fun of people for holding hands in Korea. You don't make fun of men and women for holding hands. You don't like, oh, that's gay. Look at you. Oh, it's so gay. No, that's America. That's why Americans are lonely.
Actually be in the world, but distinct.
You've been listening to the first part of our guest teacher Aaron Pierce's message, Building Trust in Friendships, from his series, Not Beyond Reach. He and Chip will join us here in studio with some additional thoughts about today's program in just a minute. Young people today are often unfairly stereotyped as rebellious, selfish, and overly harsh.
True.
But in these programs, Aaron's
it?
peeling back those generalities to reveal the hopeless, lost, and unloved feelings plaguing this generation. Learn why today's youth are primed to hear the saving message of the gospel and how through a step-by-step process you can share it with them. If you're a parent or grandparent, don't miss a second of this series.
Not your slave, Pastor.
Well, I'm joined in studio now by Chip. And Chip, studies tell us that many committed followers of Jesus are reluctant to share the gospel with today's young people for fear of being canceled or sounding intolerant of what they believe. What's your reaction to that?
Well, Dave, I'm very concerned because the Bible's really clear that people can't know and they can't respond if they don't hear. I'm concerned, yes, for the next generation, but I'm concerned about the future of our faith. We can't lose hope, but we have to pass on our faith to the next generation and those that are coming up. And what we know is like 80% of all the people that ever come to Christ, they do so before age 18. And we're always one generation away from the faith disappearing. It's happened in other countries. I'm absolutely concerned that we need to learn how to connect with and reach the next generation. And that's why I'm so excited about the brand new book by Aaron Pierce, Not Beyond Reach, that we've had a chance to partner together on, that will help moms and dads and pastors know this is a blueprint. Here's a game plan. Here's how to reach.
It needs to be more than about a brand new book, man. Preach the gospel! Stop trying to make money. We need people who preach and live the gospel, not try to sell a brand new book. Man, John Wesley didn't sell a brand new book. Daddy Seymour in Azusa Street Revival didn't sell a brand new book. Billy Sunday, he started a revival and caused a prohibition. He didn't write a brand new book. We need to get out of commercialism and get into activism. We need to preach the gospel and show people the truth.
that they too are made in the image of God, and that God loves them, that in fact these are the ones that Jesus died for, and that they too have hopes and dreams and are wanting a good life.
Yeah, but hopes and dreams and wanting a good life, not sitting in church, paying tithe and giving the offering, and reading your stupid book, and not doing anything for God. Not being able, going to Bible college for a decade, paying tuition forever, and never being used to preach.
Is not the same as agreeing, and that I am not guilty by association.